All right. The Republicans in Iowa have filed a bill to bring untrained chaplains into public schools in an effort to basically shove Christianity where it doesn't belong. And if that sounds familiar to you, it's probably because Texas has already done this. They passed a law saying public schools could basically hire untrained chaplains to do the role of social workers, counselors, and the like. And it's such a bad idea that back in August, a group of like 100 actual chaplains wrote a letter to all Texas school board members. Look at this part in bold here. I'll try to make this bigger. Because of our training and experience, we know that chaplains are not a replacement for school counselors or safety measures in our public schools, and we urge you to reject this flawed policy option. It is harmful to our public schools and the students and families they serve. And they were absolutely right about that. They are absolutely right about that. So what is going on in Iowa? In Iowa, they're saying, what? Texas did it? Let's copy it. So basically, what happened is that there are two bills. I'm going to show them to you here in just a second, but there are two bills. One of them is called Senate Study Bill. Let me show you this right here. There we go. Senate Study Bill 3092. And I'm going to scroll down to the important part, and it's section 3 right here about school chaplains. Let's read this together, shall we? It's really just the first two bits that matter. The board of directors of a school district, the school board, may employ a chaplain or engage a chaplain to serve without compensation or remuneration to provide support, services, and programs for students as assigned by yada, yada, yada. The school board can hire a chaplain to provide support, services, and programs. That's part 1. Part 2 here, the school district shall not require a chaplain employed or engaged under this section to have a license or an endorsement or certification or anything like that. Those are the two parts that matter. So just to recap, Iowa Republicans say school boards should be allowed to hire chaplains to do important work, and also they don't need training. They can just like give you a business card with the word chaplain in front of it, and that's cool. We're good with that. That's the law Iowa Republicans want to pass. And the lady who is sponsoring this bill, her name is, one of them, her name is Representative Helena Hayes. She actually said she and her Senate co-sponsor got this idea because they attended an event with a right-wing lobbyist in Iowa. One interesting thing that happened here, this is from the Iowa Starting Line, really good local publication. They said, look at what she said during a committee hearing about this bill. And this is really important. This bill is about ministers in the workplace. So I know some here are going to want to challenge what a chaplain is, how that is defined, and whether or not it's allowed in the public schools. Hold up. Let's back up for a second. What was the first thing she said? This is about ministers in the workplace. Ministers is not a term Muslims use. It's not really a term Satanists use. Atheists don't use it. And one of the Democrats who is on that committee, she's fantastic, Sarah Trone-Garriott. Look at what she said here. She called Hayes out on it during a committee hearing. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger. The author of this bill referred to the practitioners in this bill as ministers, which is specifically a Christian and Protestant Christian term. It seems to be the intent of this bill is to use the resources and institutions of the state to promote a particular religious community or religious content during the required hours of our children's education. That is a violation of that child and their parents' right to choose, but it's also a violation of protections within the U.S. Constitution. Yes. Sarah Trone-Garriott, by the way, I had the chance to meet her. She is absolutely wonderful. She actually happens to be a minister and a former chaplain. She knows what she's talking about. Unfortunately, she's one of the few Democrats in the Iowa legislature. And so this bill made it out of her committee in the state Senate. And look, if there's anything to prevent this bill from becoming law, it's not the well-being of students. Republicans don't care about that. It might, though. It might be the fact that if this bill becomes a law, some non-Christian groups might want to jump on the opportunity. And interestingly enough, there was another lobbyist, liberal lobbyist, who chimed in and said, yeah, you guys should realize this could open a Pandora's box here. This is Keenan Crow, who is a lobbyist for One Iowa, an LGBTQ advocacy organization. Guess who has a very robust chaplain program? The Satanic Temple does, Crow said. And guess who's been using it in a number of different ways, including at the U.S. Naval Academy? The Satanic Temple has. So if we want Satanic Temple chaplains in our schools, this is the way to get them. And Keenan Crow says that like it's a bad thing, but I find that hilarious. By the way, after I read that, I asked the Satanic Temple, hey, buddies, if this bill passes, are you interested in putting chaplains in these Iowa schools? And the response I got was 3 words long. We are interested! Exclamation point. So they are watching this bill very closely. And like, here's the thing. It's not as extreme as the Texas bill is, but ultimately this goes to the heart of, do you even have any faith and trust in the hired, trained staffers at your school? Because if you have good counselors and you have good social workers and those people work so damn hard, why do you need religious chaplains to, I don't know, present an alternative to the work that they're already doing? You don't. They're not going to provide anything that the trained people you have already aren't doing. Like, if they want to talk to a pastor, let them go to church. Let them go to church with their family. You don't need to do that at a public school. But again, Republicans are in control in Iowa, so this could very well become a law. If it does, we'll see if there are lawsuits about it. But it's a horrible idea. It's been horrible in Texas, and it's a law there. I don't know why Iowa Republicans are eager to copy just a bad idea to begin with.